everyone, and welcome to my show. I am Christiane, and I am a geek. I can't be any more geekier if I tried. Geek t-shirts, geek merch. I love anything geeky. I'm into Star Wars. I'm into, of course, Star Trek. Critical Role on YouTube. There are other TTRPGs I watch on YouTube. I love animes. My favorites are Fairy Tail, Bleach, got into Blue Exorcist, love that, got into Seven Deadly Sins, working my way through all of them. I play video games, a few, not many. Skyrim is one of my favourites. Just got Bendy, really enjoyed that. I'm a crafter. I have a piece here that I made. This was actually, I'm a LARPer as well. This was actually a full-out LARP called Vault 57 I did. I live in the UK, just so everybody knows. And this was down in Portsmouth that we played this in a old World War II bunker that had been being used for airsoft events, which this one was. I got hit once by my boyfriend at the time, and I made my own chainmail out of ring pulls. Just a monster, but I thought it worked well for the costume, and I got hit where there wasn't any chainmail, and I was bruised for over a month. So that was a good game. I'm even down here in the corner. So much fun. Love LARPing. I like mostly high fantasy ones, but if there are modern day ones, I have done modern day LARPs. LARPing brought me Lalia, who ended up being my first persona as well. Yes, I'm a furry. Lalia is a giant squirrel. She is Lalia, daughter of Hammy. Yes, that is Hammy from Over the Hedge. And she doesn't know what or who her mother is because she was abandoned after she was born and her father raised her. And she doesn't know her mother is actually a fae, which is why she wakes up in the morning and she's a different colour. She's a red squirrel, but sometimes she's purple and sometimes she's sparkly red. I do have those colour tails and the ears that match. I'm a cosplayer. I have done a few cosplays. Simple ones. Jesters are more involved because I'm all blue. Yes, Jester from Critical Role I have cosplayed. I have Massive Lollipop, which is huge. I will show you that on one stream. I will talk about that. I have also did the banned episode of Pokemon where James from Team Rocket has on a little orange bikini. The band episode is called Beauty on the Beach. Yes, I have cosplayed that. You're never going to see me in that costume. Luckily it was warm. I play in 2 games at the moment because I can't, they're all online using Discord to talk to and using Roll20 to play the actual game. I have been playing in a D&D E5 campaign for over getting on for 2 years now, which I will talk about in a minute. I also have a Star Wars campaign which I will be playing later on today. It is so hopefully tomorrow I'll put up another video, or Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday I will put up a video and talk about my Star Wars game. I also got my in-person group who I miss so much. Miss you guys. We need to roll dice in person again. Miss doing that. I have a lot of dice. I have got more dice in our lockdown as well. There was in our in-person group there was a wonderful character that I created who I really want to play again, or continue playing her, called Farina, and this is Pathfinder, and she is it's a druid class called Shifter, Now with shifters you can take on aspects of other animals and make up this strange being form. I was just a tiger, and I had minor, major, and hybrid form. Mostly I used hybrid form, because in hybrid form I am a beast. I love it. It's probably one of the first character play that doesn't cost magic. She's proper beast one, just striped, slightly furry all the time. She's hardly ever in her true human form, because she's... why would she be? Why would she be anything but this strong, amazing creature who can rip someone's throat out just with a scratch of her claws? Actually burst free from a creature's neck that tried to... that swallowed me. Didn't try, it did. It swallowed me, and I burst through its neck. That was fun. Oh, and there was a moment with one of our other players who was doing something with a coffin, trying to break into it. Bad things for him. So my character got fed up of watching this, so I actually, in character, went up and picked him up like this and put him down. Yeah, he pulled out his wand. He was a wizard sorcerer thing mix. I wasn't quite sure on that, but he got his wand out to, yes, an actual wand. Behave, people. And he threatened to zap me, and I'm like, go on, bring it. We'll see who's the fastest here. That was a fun moment. So on to my long-running D&D game. I've never met these people. I have met our DM because I went to London Comic Con and he was there and we actually met up. But I haven't met anybody else. But we've had some crazy things happen with us. We make friends. Oh! We started the game off, we've got Grenrig, and Barax, who is a dwarf paladin, but we just call him Gren. Then there's me. My character is a little gnome called Fred, or her full name Winifred Gimblebop, who she doesn't tell anybody till later because she doesn't like the full name Winifred. Only her parents call her that. She has purple hair, her magic is purple, because she was studying to be a wizard, and she read the wrong book, an eldritch tome that messed up her brain and gave her wild magic, and she could understand and speak deep speech. She is a good character, or chaotic good. We've got Melia, our half-elf druid. Naive, doesn't know the world, doesn't like metal. The amount of times we have to tell her to get off the table, stop walking across tables, you don't do that sort of thing. And then there is Coral, our little halfling princess, who, noblewoman or princess, of course, quite sure, who wanted to pay us all to protect her. My character's like, no, we're your friends, you don't need to pay us. And the rest of the party are like, no, shut up, we got some money. I'm like, no, this is our friend. And we start the game off, we all meet, we're captured, I get free using my fire, and then I burn myself. We make friends with, we think, is a copper dragonborn. Turns out to be an actual dragon, who later on in the game helps us out a lot. We end up in a forgotten underground dwarven city that is being slowly taken over by mind flayers. And then there's this guy called Dr. Lazarus. People don't actually say his name. They talk about this figure in gold and a top hat. And he takes people and turns them into constructs. Or warforged. So a lot of that happens. we end up with an orb that Fred decides to try and use. It's an orb of annihilation. This is the first time she goes down. I go down, or Fred goes down, a lot. I've had to use a lot of revivify spells on her. I have failed my death saves twice and died outright with no death saves. I think twice as well. My DM will probably correct me on this. Yeah. We make our way out of that city. Get back to the surface. While we're in that city, we met some new friends. We've got Fennin, the Minotaur Barbarian. Sweet, kind Fennin, who Fred takes to straight away and will ride around on his shoulder. And then Carl does as well, because we're both short asses and squishies. We also meet Serena, I can't remember what she was, but she was a sorcerer. She goes down in her first game. And a door shows up and drags her off. And door disappears. She has come back as a warlock with a metal arm and the 3 gems. Those 3 gems turn out they are lives that she's got. In a fight, I fail my death saves. It wasn't the normalization where I failed my death saves. I actually succeeded on that, or Gren got to me in time. But I do fail my death saves, and I'm crying because I've never lost a character. Yeah. I started playing many years ago. I think it was about 2009, 2010 I started playing D&D 3.5, and I've never lost a character. I haven't even lost a LARP character. So Serena sacrifices one of her lives to bring back Fred. And then we get our way out. We meet a giant crab who we call Nez, because I can't pronounce his full name. We go off trying to find his boss, who is the World Walker, who's named Nezrim. We eventually do find him when we end up. By this time, we have lost Fennin. We end up in the Feywild. We end up fighting. We got this demi-lich we have to get rid of. We end up fighting this tree. That is his phylactery, and it disintegrates Fennin. So we still have his ashes in a metal teapot that Gren is carrying around with him. So we end up with a new character there called Fendir, who is an elf wizard. My brain doesn't like to work sometimes. Blade Singer. So eventually we end up in the City of the Dead. Carl goes off to do some stuff, or gets captured before we end up there. And then the player of her, he brings back a new character called Kumo, who is a dead samurai barbarian half-orc. And Fred really takes to him. Bit of a crush. By this time, her wild magic has turned her into an elf. Yep, an elf. So we're in the City of the Dead. We find the library, because we know Nezra will be there. We get down there. We get into the library. All the books. Fred's terrified. Though she's trying to be less scared of them. And then she fails her will save. That's my idea, to do a will save when we find another book of Eldritch magic that's on a pedestal. Fail my will save. I'm with Serena at the time. We both get dragged into the book. We did not read it properly, and it said prison on the outside of the book. The rest of the party follows in. We have to find loads of clues to get us out. During this time, at some point, Serena ended up with a deck of many things. She decides to pull a card. And she pulls the Tower card. We lose Serena. Fred's not doing well. She's lost. She has died. She is an elf now. She has seen 2 of her friends die outright. And her body gets carted off. She has used all her lives by this point. We end up with a new character called Narelle. She's a wizard, elf, who's got a strange and mysterious background. As if she is part of a prophecy, but need the rest of the people to be part of this prophecy too, so it to activate the prophecy. While we're in the book, also, we come to the last bit where we need to find all the clues. And there's 3 bottles of poison. They're umming and ahhing and arguing amongst themselves of who is going to do it. Gotta go unconscious to find all the clues. We've got most of them. This is the last line. Fred gets bored and drinks the poison. I fail my death saves again. I don't want to die. So they say, you get me. They take my body off and they give me to Nezrim. We get back to his tower. He takes me off. And guess who he takes me to see? Or takes my body to? Dr. Lazarus! Again, this is the DM's homebrew character. One of his favorites. So, we're there. Fred gets brought back as a warforged. Whoever was after, some creatures were after her brain, and whatever was in that eldritch tome that she burned after it zapped her brain, finally got her head. And she comes back as warforged. I don't know wild magic anymore. She doesn't know deep speech anymore. But she has psionic spells, which is fun. We get out of the Underdark, we say goodbye to Nezrim. We go off. New characters. We end up being captured again at some point. We lose Melia to an undead beholder. I can't remember what the creature actually was, but I know my DM will probably say what it is in the comments if he watches this. Where does go through? Where is Melia? She brings back a new character called Rosa or Rosiah, who is an Awenti cleric who got raised to be believing that she was a god, and they turned and said, "You're not a god, false god, you need to die." I started off this whole thing with angels and Awentis and so much, just so much together. This is why this is just the big main parts that's going on, and we all end up being the rest of these champions. That Narelle is a champion of this entity, and the rest of us, I'm not yet, Fred's not yet, but the rest are. And they agree because they die. We die a lot. There's a theme going on here. And they become the champions of these entities. Thandir is for Oberon. Rosa is for this demon, black demon entity. I can't remember his name. Gren is this red, fiery entity. And then Fred finds out all this has happened and she's jealous. I want to be this. It's because I succeeded on my roles and didn't end up dead for once. But Fred wants to. Fred wants to be a champion as well. Eventually, the DM finds a way for me to do that, and she is now the champion of the Wind or Spirit Weaver. And the last few games, we had to get our weapons. Our champion weapons. Gren got his. He were these metal gauntlets. Thandir got a bow. Rosa got a cloak. And the last session was mine. We end up on, we answer some clue or some riddles. Got 2 out of 3 right, which is awesome. Then we end up in this building with lots of boxes full of costume and a stage. Curtains are closed. When I say I'm ready, the curtains open. There's nobody there. So we just walk off the stage and we all get booed and then fight happens. Fred goes down again! Outright. No death saves. No nothing. Luckily the party members got to me in time and another revivify. We succeed. And then the Spirit Weaver shows up. Gives me the weapon, which is this amazing rapier that does some really cool stuff. And looks at Fred, says, there's something wrong here. This isn't right, basically. And in a swirl of magic of metal and wood, Fred is a gnome again. And I'm almost in tears. I am so happy. It was such a beautiful moment. And that's it. I've missed a whole bunch out. There's so much I have probably missed out. But this was just the highlights, the bits I remember. I was given notes. I did skim through them, but I have ADHD. My brain kind of just was going, I really want to do it. I can't. I got this will do. So tonight will be Star Wars. Tomorrow I'll probably put up another video and I will talk about more. Tuesday I'll put up a video talking about the Star Wars games. I hope people enjoyed my ramblings on. I will keep people up to date after this with what we're getting up to games. In those 2 games I will, like I said, I will probably put up a couple of crafting videos where I am working some projects. Just a few things and just chat to everyone. And any new dice that come in, we will talk about how good they are. We will probably see if they are, what the weight's like and doing things like that. Also eventually we'll be painting miniatures, which I will show you. I am going to attempt to paint some miniatures I have. I can craft, but I'm not the greatest painter in the world. My hands aren't that steady, but I'm really good with a pair of scissors and a pot of glue. Which is why I could do things like that and spatter paint. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I am going to say adieu. I hope everybody has a good day. If it's morning for you, good morning. If it's evening, good evening, and it's afternoon. I know I did the wrong way round. Have a good day and take care of yourselves. Bye.